Welcome back to Cocktails and Classics. I'm. What was that face, man?
I
I had to
didn't
turn it
I
on.
didn't make a I didn't make a face, but it is funny watching you like flip the switch. It's like watching the least method actor of all time. It's just like, yeah, I'll do it.
Release the
We'll rip it.
mechanism.
It'll yeah, it'll it'll be fine. And action. Welcome back. It's like, Jesus Christ.
I turn on the hamminess just for the intro.
Sounds like he's got
Uh,
to go take a nap in his car after this, but my god.
well, that's where I live, so.
Well, fair enough.
Welcome back to Cocktails and Classics. I'm Dylan. Joining me, as always, is Ben.
Hello.
And this week we watched the 2025 film Sinners, directed and written by Ryan Coogler. Um, and this is one kind of flew under my radar coming up to like release, and then after it dropped, I feel like it kind of got hyped up a lot. Um,
Yeah, I do remember hearing like rumblings about it before it came out because if I remember right, wasn't this the thing that like studios wouldn't touch it?
yes,
And
because
so it
because of
was
the
like,
way
well,
Ryan Coogler wanted to work the contract is the reason.
okay.
Because which it I did watch an interview or watch something with somebody, I forget who it was exactly, but they were talking about this, and it's not unusual in Hollywood. Apparently it is unusual with like African American directors, but basically the thing was that a lot of people didn't want to touch it because he worked in the rights that he will own the rights to the film after like 20 years or something.
Gotcha.
Um,
And studios don't want that because they want to own it in perpetuity so that they can.
yeah, he gets first dollar gross, final cut privilege, and ownership of the film 25 years after its release. So really, uh, I mean, it's good because it's an original idea. Like this is a very good film if you're gonna make those terms uh, to go for, because like you're established, like you are Ryan Coogler. People know who you are. You have you have star power with your friends who come in on like every movie. Uh, so it's very acceptable. I feel like at that point for you to go be like, yeah, I don't want to get fucked on this movie. So I want first gross. I want the rights down the road, which is probably going to be good because this might be something that he comes back to even 25 years down the road, if he doesn't come back to it sooner. Um,
Yeah.
which was he attached to Blade ever?
No, I don't think so. I don't know that
Because
they ever had a director officially attached to Blade.
that's because I was wondering, and maybe I'm just because it's another vampire movie, but I was trying to. I was like, did Ryan Coogler ever get attached to Blade?
No, it was
Because
Bassam Tariq.
with Mersala Ali.
Yeah, this was back in like 2022.
Oh, and then it just got removed. I see.
And then I think again in 2024, then it was Jan Demange.
Hmm.
And then he and Marvel parted ways in 2024, and now I think it's just been kind of
Yeah, I saw that it's
dead
kind
in
of
the
just been
water.
yeah, I saw that it's kind of just been removed from their release.
Yeah, although I guess I don't know. It sounds like earlier this year, uh, Chad Stahelski. I don't know. Someone who has worked in the John Wick franchise was
Oh,
lined
that's
up.
the dude
Is
who's
was quote
yeah,
being lined up.
that's the guy who directed like John Wick.
Yeah.
and like the th- three other sequels or some shit.
Yeah.
He's like the
So
dude for John Wick. That'd be
they they
interesting.
keep they keep saying it, but I think I think Mahershala Ali is already kind of
Left.
bailed.
I th- I feel like that's kind of what ends up happening with these things. Like I've seen because that
Well, I
weapons movie
mean,
is coming out. I've seen a lot of press about how like Pedro Pascal left that movie because of like the strikes, and then um there was something, oh, COVID. Like he left that movie and just had to like, because he had Fantastic Four and other stuff going on, and the guy was like, "Oh, you kind of boned us. Like we had to go and completely recast everybody." And it's like, okay, well, if it takes
well,
time to make
not
a
just
movie,
that, but
somebody else is gonna come up and give you more money, and like,
well, it's not just that, but I mean, he attached to this thing in 2019.
and it still hasn't been made.
It's not even in production yet.
Yeah, they even have a
So I
script.
mean,
I feel like that's the other thing.
I I don't know. So I mean, to sit there and be like, yeah, I'll do this. I'm gonna play this superhero, this action superhero, and then be like, well, I'm thinking like, we start it in 2020, and realistically, I'm wrapping up the trilogy or whatever I'm involved in by like 2027, 2028. Like that's 2 years, a little over 2 years every movie or whatever. Now I'm 6 years older, and I'm starting a franchise that like Marvel's gonna want me for at least three, plus however many like Avengers movies. Like, I,
Yeah, that's
and
that's gonna take 10 plus years of your life.
well, not just that, but think of the fact that Mahershala Ali really kind of burst onto the scene with House of Cards in 2012, 2013. Like I want to say when he kind of like really picked up steam from that show. Wasn't he in that show?
Uh, yes, he was. I did not watch House of Cards, so I don't. I know him for Moonlight. That's it.
I watched the first couple seasons. Um I definitely fell off. Uh but I so you've got to think, how old is he now?
Ooh, 1974. So he's 54. No, sorry, 52, 51.
That's tough to start an action superhero franchise.
Yeah, I mean, Blade's not necessarily like a certain age. I feel like, is he?
No, no,
But
it's not the character age that's the issue. It's that
you're gonna have
again,
somebody
he's
who's
52.
60.
8 years from now, you're going to be having to do a bunch of fucking stunt and wire work at 60 years old.
There was an interview. I mean,
I
Robert
know,
Downey
I know
Jr. is
Tom.
older.
Well, yeah, but Jesus Christ, Robert Downey Jr. shows up for 2 days, and then half the time he's in a fucking green screen suit not doing anything.
Jarvis, unship my pants. Uh,
What? I could swear there was a thing that I can't
I
remember which Marvel actress or something they talked about, and they're like, yeah, Downey and Cheadle sit there complaining. They never have to wear a full freaking suit. They're always just in like CG costumes, or they maybe have to wear like a helmet and part of a shoulder pad for a close up thing. Like they
yeah.
have it easy. They don't have to worry about really anything super cumbersome. Yeah, I
I
get
was
it.
uh I was reading or watching something the other day, and they had Liam Neeson, um, who like he was just a Naked Gun remake, and he's kind of saying the same thing. Like, uh, I mean, he's fucking older than my mother. He's 70. God, I don't even know, 73, and he's like at some point I can't do stunts anymore. Like, you don't want to see my geriatric ass like trying to do these stunts. He's like it's coming any day now. But I did do my stunts for this movie. But he was like, in a few years, like I got to be done with that. Can't be the action guy anymore. Um,
Yeah, I mean it makes sense. And Mahershala Ali's never been the action guy.
yeah.
So it's not like you're just like, oh yeah, it's like kind of like riding a bike. Like, no, this is an all new experience for you.
What did you know about Sinners going in? I
Next to nothing.
Okay.
I knew Michael B. Jordan played two characters.
Yeah, I was gonna say I knew it was a vampire movie. Um, Other than that, I
I'll be
didn't.
honest,
I didn't know
I don't
anything
even think I
about.
knew. I don't even think I knew it was a vampire movie. Like I remembered the scene of them, like in the trailer of them, like him holding the machine gun and kind of like the doors, like standing like ready for a fight. But I
Yeah.
didn't know it was vampires. I had no idea what it was.
Um,
I went into this very, very blind. I will say very blind, but also I think a bar was set very high for what people talked about this movie.
I do, and that was one of the things I read online going in. I saw some of the reviews, and like the first like 7 reviews, like the quick ones on IMDb, are all like, "It's a bit overhyped. It's a bit overhyped. It's overhyped." And I was like, that that's rough because that's also I had talked to Freddie, and that was what he said. He was like, "It was all right. It was good. It was overhyped." And I was like, "Man, everyone
Like I said,
is not
I
setting this
remember
up."
when it came out, playing like that game with everyone, and someone being like, "Oh, I'm going to see Sinners tomorrow." So I was like, "Oh my god, it was so good." Yeah, I've heard everyone says it's amazing, and then I finished it, and I was like, "This is the thing that everyone was like clamoring for, and it's incredible and amazing, and all of the." I'm like, It was good, but people made it sound like it was the greatest movie of all time, and it, I don't know, it really wasn't.
Here's my complaint. I'll lead off with that. Um, I don't know if Michael B. Jordan needs to be 2 characters. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if Smoke and Stack are that different to where they need to be twins. They could just
I
be
saw the
one
thing
character.
where like they're claiming that he's gonna earn an Oscar nom for this, and I was like, for what? He played the same guy, and neither one of them was very compelling.
Here's I don't I don't want to say that like it's necessarily a thing, but I was thinking back to like movies that I've seen with Michael B. Jordan, and I know he works with Ryan Coogler a lot. Kind of almost want to say Ryan Coogler typecasts him as like the like kind of thuggy,
Edgy,
annoying
hard
character.
ass.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like in Black Panther, like as Killmonger, kind of the same thing. This movie, kind kind of the edgy hard ass. Like I don't.
yeah. Creed is kind of similar.
I'm just like
No, I saw that where it was like, oh, Michael B. Jordan's performance as two characters was so good, and I'm like, really? He played the same guy just with different people.
yeah, it was like, and I feel like the characters were so alike that for them to then go and be like, well, this guy has to have a blue hat and this guy has to have a red hat to differentiate them. Like I cuz I'm thinking to like I believe it was Tom Hardy and like Legend. I want to say is the name of the movie, the one where he
Oh,
plays
when he
the
plays the
British gangsters.
twin gangsters, yes.
Yeah, like those characters were so different that you could tell which one was which. This one, once
Yeah.
they got into the bar and like their shirts come off and all that. I'm kind of like, which of the twins went back with the girl? Like, I was like
Yeah.
trying to like figure that out, and I'm like, I don't
And
know, man.
really,
Like,
smoking. Let's give them. It was what was it? Elijah
uh,
and was it Elias?
I think it was annoying with the smokestack.
Yeah,
uh,
because that also didn't help separate them. Elijah
yes,
and
it is.
Elias.
It is Elijah and Elias. Yeah, you're right.
And I'm just like that that doesn't help. Giving them a name that Smoke and Stack doesn't really help differentiate them. Makes it also difficult to figure out who is who.
Yeah.
And also, I'll be honest, like I just remember how I've said like I don't need you to give me a ton of backstory.
Oh boy. Oh boy. That
This
was
movie
my
kept
thing.
dipping. This movie kept dipping its toe in backstory and then just leaving shit. What happened to your dad? We didn't kill him. The smoke killed him. What? What are you talking about? Did someone set? Did they burn their house down? Like,
No, I
did they
think
kill their
smoke.
dad?
I think smoke killed them.
Oh shit! I didn't even put that together at the time of watching it. I was like, smoke killed him. Like what?
No, yeah,
Like
yeah.
a fire?
Like the
Oh
one
no, never
brother.
mind. The
I
other
think
brother killed him.
yeah, I think smoke killed him because like he always hit stack or whatever. I think that was
Yeah.
the thing. But no, it I said this to multiple people after I saw it. I was like, I don't know if I need to have the explicit sexual backstory to every character. Uh for me to like understand that I need to care for these characters before they get eaten by vampires, to essentially have the black southern version of From Dusk Till Dawn with a few more
Well,
dance numbers
and
because like
yeah. Also, I, I they spent so much time leading up to like this opening of this club for all of this setup for the club to be open for like 10 minutes of the movie, enough time to do like, which I will admit was a cool like
that musical
music
number
number
was
where
fucking
they
crazy.
kind of like integrated it to show like how the blues kind of traveled through music into like all the way up to now the 90s and everything else,
Yeah,
and even before 1930s or 20s Mississippi, and just kind of like how it's very much kind of the same and in the culture and ancestral and all these things. That was really cool.
that
But then
was
it was
awesome.
like, oh yeah, now we're just into a vampire movie. And I'm like, why did we spend an hour getting to know all of these people? Like we're supposed to give a massive shit about who they are for just them dying almost immediately. And then it gets into Sammy, where it's like, oh yeah, it's his music can transcend whatever. I'm like, what? We're just gonna throw this in here now? This is why they're so desperate for it? This doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I didn't quite understand the idea of like the vampires need to get like they came here for Sammy because of
Uh,
like he's like I forget the phrasing, but that he's like the musician who can like transcend like time and space or whatever.
yeah, his he can summon spirits or something. I I don't know. It was just it, a bunch of it didn't make sense. It just felt like two different movies that just kind of got cut together. Um, oh, what is her name? Perline
Yeah.
was just seems like a wasted character.
Yeah.
She's a married woman who comes in just to then
Paying
have
Sammy sing
have
once and
sex,
then
cheat on her husband with Sammy, and then get murdered.
yeah. I guess to like ground Sammy more. I don't
You didn't need to. He's the most grounded character in the entire movie. He's a naive 17-year-old who just wants to be a musician, who gets this opportunity from his cousins to play music at their bar. You don't need more than that.
Yeah.
He is the grounded character.
I think the thing is, and a big complaint is, it's similar to like kind of what we're talking about, but it's the fact that like it's a really good movie, but they like throw out so many ideas, and I don't know if they tie up enough of them or like even ever go back to them. You know?
The background of them living with Mary's mom,
Yeah, yeah,
and then it's just like, you guys left and she died. Well, when did they live with you? Because I thought they were in the war and then in Chicago. When in this whole scenario were they living with you and your mom? When was all of this happening?
yeah. I like. I don't know how old they're
None of this
supposed to
makes
be.
sense. This all was just like I said, it sounds like we were supposed to get so much more of the backstory and things like that, and then it was just like, nope, psych, vampire movie. But also, like, uh, the vampire part of the movie also just felt super rushed.
Yeah, I
Like, it was supposed to be a horror thriller, but like, there's not really a ton outside of like conversations happening through the door, outside of the scene with man, it's gonna be hard for me not to call him Charles, Cornbread. um where like he's like, no, let me in, and then like when he reaches to hand him the money and he grabs at him, like, for
yeah.
the most part it's like, oh, we know we're in here and you can't cross this door, so like we're completely fine. Okay. Sounds good. Like, that checks out.
I I loved that they kept the traditional, um, like the
Oh, like the
traditional
rules.
like yeah, rules of like a vampire. Like they don't like holy
Oh
water
yeah.
and garlic, and even brought in like I don't know. This is gonna make me sound ignorant. I don't know. Roots, I think, is like the magic or like spirituality that or hoodoo, I guess. I
Yeah, I
was
was
gonna
gonna
say
say,
hoodoo, but
I think it was like, yeah. Yeah, I think that's what it was.
um, that like Annie practices and like believes, but like the way that like even her oh, what is she? Ah, God, what does she give him? She gives him something, and I forget what they call it. Like his like charm thing that protects him. I can't think what she calls it.
Oh, I
Oh
can't remember.
man. Oh God, I can't remember it.
It's
But
like a pendant.
yeah. But like that playing into it and stuff, like I don't know. I like that part when it's like a traditional vampire. Like the fact that they couldn't get in the door and they had to be like, "What? Let me in. Why won't you let me in? Come on." And I'm like,
Yeah. No, and I
"Don't
thought that
don't let
was
him
cool
in."
that they were also, I liked too that it was obviously the first time it happens, they have no idea. So that makes sense. But then when it's like the second time around, they're like, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. You're a big guy. Why don't you just barge through the door? Well, I don't want to be rude, so just let me in. It's like, no, 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 no. No, that's
Yeah.
vampires need to be let in. If you're not a vampire, you can just barge right through us. Like, that's where I was like, oh, okay. I like the fact that they're not just half-wits who are just going to immediately
Yeah.
be like, you
Like
okay?
they know of vampires.
Yeah, yeah.
Um
Like I said, it just felt so weird that it was like, you get into this giant battle scene, people die, and then it's like, all right, cool. Now we're immediately going to this other thing, and within 5 minutes of them opening the doors, now the sun is up.
yeah, and also like the
It's
battle scene is like
it's like the lady who was
like who
determined to let them in to save their daughter could have just kept them talking for another 5 minutes and then gone and got her and would have been fine.
it's
Instead, she sets herself on fire.
yeah. I was like watching the battle scene. I'm like, who the fuck are half these people who are getting killed by the vampires? I'm like, there was only like 6 people in here, wasn't there?
Thank you. Yeah, I was also drastically confused because so many of them die, and then it's like, oh, there's Sammy and
Annie gets killed, or
Smoke
like, yeah,
and the blues
uh,
musician who slices his
Delta
wrist to
Slim.
draw the vampires in.
Yeah,
Okay, there's
yeah. What the
3.
fuck? What did
We
Delta
watch
Slim
we
didn't have to
watch
fucking die?
we we watch Stack kill Annie. Or not Annie. Or no, is it Annie?
uh,
Right?
yeah,
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 it's Annie. No, I was thinking of Grace. We see Grace set herself on fire.
yeah.
Um, isn't that the oh, and Perline? But she runs. Doesn't she make it up the stairs or
Perline makes it upstairs with Sammy.
before she's
Yeah,
taken out?
yeah.
I'm like,
Stack is the
so
one who becomes a vampire. So
yeah,
Smoke has
but
to
there's
Smoke
but
has to
there's the
kill his own
but there's
wife.
the 6, and I feel like we see more than those people. We
You do.
see, like I said, you see
The other
Grace
guy, the dude who they
Grace
found on the
burning.
floor.
Oh, that's true.
But I feel
Yeah.
like there was more than just him that time. But
Yeah, it
I was
seemed
kind of
like
like,
more people.
who, people are getting jumped on by vampires, but I don't know who these people are, so I don't really care about them. Um, I yeah, I don't know. I think I liked the themes and like kind of how they play with the concept of a vampire as like this theme of uh like assimilation, um of like, oh well, like the people down here don't like you, like we can give you community, we can give you a family, like you just join us. And it's interesting the way they play that along the like Jim Crow South, um because I feel like there's not a vampire movie in this setting
Not that I can. I
that,
mean, none that immediately jump to mind enough to be.
because I feel like most of the time it's like Dracula and then like modern day.
Yeah,
Because yeah, I'm trying to think, and I'm like Fright Nights modern, um, From Dusk Till Dawn's modern, Salem's Lot. Um,
yeah. I don't think there's anything I can think of that takes place in that
like post World War.
era.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I think two very high points of this movie, in my opinion. Um, music and score. Um, Ludwig. I don't really know how to pronounce his last name, but Goranson,
Urinson.
Joransson, um, who did like Oppenheimer, and he's done a lot of music production before he got into scores. Um, but like the score on this movie is so good, and then the cinematography is so damn good. Uh, and they play with like the framing too at one point, where it's like mostly shot in like a really tight, like a 2:1 or some shit, 2.1 ratio, and then like once you get into that fight scene, it like expands out. Uh, and I was like, ooh, okay. And then it it like clamps back down later. I was like, all right, I don't know if we need to go back to it, um, but oh, dude, yeah, it's beautiful film. Very dark at times, and maybe that was just my setup. But like the first half of the movie was super dark, uh, where like even daytime seemed a little muted to me. But just my taste. But like, yeah, the scene at the end when they're like fighting in the water with the sun coming up, like, oh man, that was all beautiful. Very, very, very well done.
I thought the music, I really did enjoy too, kind of, and it's weird because the feeling it gave me, especially watching like the scene we talked about where it's kind of the blues, but as they're doing it, it kind of goes through like modern and also back to like through history, and kind of the tie of that blues has kind of all the way through the history of like black culture. Weirdly enough, it reminded me of like Baz Luhrmann's like Elvis movie, where they
Hmm.
kind of do that with like Hound Dog, where
Yeah, I
they do
haven't
that as
seen it,
like
but
very, very bluesy. And then I think in the soundtrack it's Doja Cat that does like a song over it, but it is very like it takes that bluesy, but then like overlays like modern beats over top of it. They do that a couple times in that movie, and it just seemed kind of very reminiscent of that. But I also thought the scene where like all of the vampires are out like singing was surprisingly beautiful for a scene that sounds like the most obnoxious and like this shouldn't work. This doesn't need like this shouldn't be a part of this, but you're like, "Damn, it is very beautiful." And like you
haunting.
said, of almost like building this community. They make it seem like it is like a Sunday morning service for them.
Yeah. Well, when Mary like goes out there and they're doing that song, like it's so creepy. Like I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, why are you still standing there? Like, turn around,
Yeah.
walk away.
I also love that just like, oh, I listened to you guys play one song. You're good people. I just wanted to make sure you weren't bad people. Oh, okay. You're not. Oh, good. What? No wonder crime was so easy to get away with in the early 1900s. People were so naive.
Oh, the other like scene that really was uh stood out to me was after the vampires, after I think after Sammy goes back to his dad's church, and we see that whole scene. Um, Smoke is back at the bar and he's like camped out waiting for like the Klansmen to show up and he like shoots all those guys. And then it's just him and Hogwood, I think is the guy's name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Hogwood. It's just him and Hogwood, and like he's like hallucinate, and not necessarily like hallucinating, but he's like seeing Annie and their child like on the other side. Like that scene, I was like, oh fuck, man. Like, oh man, that kind of hurts. Like,
Yeah, that one
because
that one stung a bit. Yeah.
yeah, once you like first see her, you're like, oh fuck, man. Like, this is the end for old Smoke. Um, and the other,
Just weird
I mean,
because it looks like a nice clean through wound.
well, it's whatever,
Doesn't look like the type
1932.
of look like the type of wound that would take a man out in, 3 minutes. But hey, I mean, I'm not a doctor, so I don't know. But if my if my watching of movies has taught me anything, a protagonist should be able to take more than one through round before dying in a movie.
Well, he peppered Hogwood. That dude
Oh
was still
yeah,
kind
I
of
mean,
like,
he just
I was like,
yeah.
I feel like he
No, he
wouldn't
did
be
the like
jerking
the
around
old
in a
school movie
second.
death where like he's still like he's not just dropping,
He's got
he's
50
reacting to
bullets
every
in him, and
bullet.
he's still still
that
jumping
guy's
around.
really that guy's really trying to make sure he's got something to put on a reel.
um, the other scene, this all kind of I feel like plays back to like the cinematography and stuff, but the scene where in the moment I was kind of like, this is a long shot. Like I don't understand why this is happening. When they go to um, Bo and Grace's shop, and they send Lisa across the street to go get Grace, and you kind of
Yeah.
like you realize in that shot, like I was like, this is like a really long shot. Like, why are they showing her walking across the street and stuff? Like, just to show, that there's like a black side of the street and a white side of the street. and, and like the town is segregated because they're also like you get that audio in the background of like characters kind of being like oh I thought they had their side of town, why are they like oh okay now I get why, and it kind of got a new appreciation for that shot because I was originally I was kind of like this is taking a long time just to go get this mom. Oh, okay.
Oh, right, right, right. What did you think about the twist at the very end of the movie? The
That
spoiler that they're still alive
was not a
when they go to visit.
spoiler.
I
It's in
mean, it
the
kind of is.
post credit kind of
Oh,
there's
it's. I mean, I kind of like they. It was just weird. Like they start playing credits over it, and then they have this full scene, and then the actual credits go, and then there's
yeah.
another post credit.
The other post credit one's kind of lame. I did not have to stick around for that one.
Yeah.
It was interesting. I don't understand how you would make that work. I mean, I guess you only move at night. But the fact that like
I mean, the
I
same
kind
way
of
any other vampire survives for forever.
yeah, but they usually have like a familiar or something that they like take with
Yeah,
them. But
yeah, I have
I
a
don't
feeling they probably like traveled to like I think they have to have been in like another big city, like a New
yeah.
York or something where it's easier to just be around at night.
Um I don't know. It's I assume that might be where we get a sequel or something more in this world, but uh I
I don't know.
did
I think
it didn't necessarily surprise me as much as I was like, it was kind of weird that Smoke got outside to Sammy so fast. I feel like he would have had to deal with his killing his brother a little bit longer, but
well, and that's I guess Ryan Coogler said uh he wanted to work on something original have after having done many franchise projects. His intention for this film was to feel like a full meal and that it would be a finished thing.
hmm,
So he didn't really think about doing. So I don't think he's considering doing a sequel, but at the same time, money talks. So I guess we'll have to
yeah.
see.
I feel like it's I guess it's not necessarily like they set it up, but they did kind of like leave enough on the plate. Um, I find it interesting that Sammy decided to leave and chase music and like go be a musician, which seems like he was successful. Um, which may be part of that like I don't know, make a deal with the devil like type thing where oh this happened and it was the best night of his life and all this horrible stuff happened and he got the scar but now he's like this successful musician. Um, but I do find it interesting that he didn't go back. Like nothing that happened kind of changed his perspective at all because he was literally like just went straight to like, all right, I'm going. And I was like,
Yeah,
okay,
I
you're
don't know. I guess maybe you could see it too, though, as like after that type of experience, what scares you?
that's true.
I mean, realistically, he's kind of been through hell. That what is, and I guess in my mind, what I also kind of probably overread into in that was that he saw how Smoke and Stack went and did it, and they survived and came back, and that. And I think to me, it was like a, you know, he survived that night while neither of them did, as far as he knew. So he's like, to me, that was one of those things where it's like, if I can handle these guys can handle it, and I'm still here and they're not, so maybe maybe I'm strong enough to handle it and go and do my own thing.
Um, don't necessarily agree with that, Ryan Coogler. It says several critics drew comparisons between this and From Dusk Till Dawn, which Coogler cited From Dusk Till Dawn as an inspiration for the film, but compared it more to The Faculty, which is another Robert Rodriguez movie, which is more about like it's closer to like The Thing, where it's like, well, you know what? I buy a little bit of it. I feel like the themes of like assimilation and that play more into The Faculty, but uh, I did enjoy the Thing type scene where they like all have to eat the garlic. Um, and the one girl just does not like garlic.
That's like
Uh,
I said, one of the things I did enjoy about this movie was it was not, they weren't dumb.
yeah.
It wasn't your quintessential like horror movie idiots where it's like, oh God, what are we gonna do? How do we do this? It's like, nope. Here's how we find out if you've been turned or not. Take Eat this garlic. Um, I'm reading through some of the trivia stuff on here, and I will say it's kind of frustrating that like it seems like the more backstory is given if you go to their Spotify page.
Huh?
So on Spotify, in the About section for the artist Sinners movie, the first front page is from a Boston newspaper. It describes a mysterious discovery in the Boston harbor of an Irish immigrant ship that turned up completely devoid of life. The ship's cabin was burned down and blood was everywhere, but there were no people aboard the ship, despite reports that lights and music were seen and heard the night before originating from the ship. The final key point is that an eyewitness saw one man take off from the ship with his skin smoking, disappearing into the shadows. The story outlines how Remick first came to America in 1911 from his native land of Ireland. The ship he crossed the Atlantic on is named the Celtic Hare, but is clearly meant to be a stand in for the ship that Dracula famously crossed the sea on, named the Demeter. It also sheds light on how Remick has been in America, how long Remick has been in America, which is a relatively short time frame in his life, which is implied to be over 600 years long.
And that's on a Spotify page?
Yep, it also says
What?
the other newspaper pages that can be found on Spotify reveal how Smoke and Stack made their money, bank robberies. The first page is from their hometown paper and outlines the outcome of a bank robbery, along with the description of the brothers' personalities recounted by eyewitnesses, including Stack's smooth talking, commanding nature, and Smoke's more abrasive, violent streak. That robbery occurred in 1924, judging by the paper's date. The second page details the clash between the Italian mafia and the Irish mob in Chicago following the arrest of Al Capone. As the paper states, the two factions are at each other's throats as they vie for control of the city in the vacuum left by Capone's arrest. It specifically states that both sides accuse the other of stealing an illegal alcohol hoard. Meanwhile, the Smokestack twins fill Club Juke with cases of Irish beer and Italian wine from their truck, clearly implementing them in the brewing gang war.
Okay. Uh wow.
Like, oh, what a cool thing. But then, like, what a cool thing that no one's gonna learn unless you go to a Spotify page.
Yeah. Um yeah. I feel like you don't have to flat out kind of say that. I feel like
I mean, it
you
was
can
kind of
you
obvious
can
that
hint
they
at.
earned their money
Yeah, they said at one
not
point they're
in
like
a
in
reputable way.
yeah, in Chicago with Al Capone and stuff.
Yeah.
I just feel like I don't know. Well, I don't know. I just feel like the part where like Mary is like confronting Stack out at the train station and she's like Like, I waited for you because you stuck your tongue in my koozie and effed me so hard. I figured I'd changed your mind. I was like, what is happening here? like, I, I, I don't know. I don't necessarily need to know all the details to this to know they're jaded lovers. You know, like I don't know. And then I don't know. I just feel like their their whole relationship kind of sucks. If I'm being honest, I don't know. Because
Their
like
whole
later,
relationship doesn't make sense to me.
well, because later when they're at the bar and he's like, I mean, well, maybe it just doesn't make sense to us because like she's like white passing and stuff, but I just
No, I get that, but it's also just like the I told you to stay the hell away from me, and then later at the bar, he goes she goes to buy the cousin a drink, and then all of a sudden they're like dancing and connecting, and it's like, well, wait a minute, what? I thought you were trying to stay away from this person the entire time.
yeah. Well, and then he's like, well, I wanted you to stay away because I love you, and it's like,
But also
oh,
then,
oh,
but also then, again, how long have these guys been gone? Like, did they come back after the war and then leave to go to Chicago between the two? That must have been the case because, and they must not have been in Chicago super long because, well, actually, I don't know. They say they lost that. We know that Smoke lost a daughter, but we don't really have the time frame on when.
yeah. So
But
that had to have been before they went to Chicago.
but then also it's like this is Sammy, little Sammy, but he didn't recognize her. I'm just
Yeah.
saying. And again, I don't think I would have as much problems with this if it weren't for the fact that I feel like when this movie came out, people talked about it like it was Citizen fucking Kane. And I'm going into it expecting like this perfect movie. And I'm like, there are holes all over the place that it seems like people were just more than happy to ignore.
I will say, and I maybe I just haven't seen enough movies this year. Uh, I will say it's probably one of the better movies that I've seen this year so far. Uh, because maybe I just haven't seen that many, but
Yeah, but which again, I get, but like people didn't make it sound like it was one of the best movies, quote, of the year. They made it sound like it was just one of the best all time movies.
I don't know. I liked it. It was kind of fun to like. We've talked about this like some of the comedies, but it's kind of fun to just like turn off a little bit, just
I agree. However, I will put this into the perspective. And again, not this movie's fault that it caught this weird amount of hype that it caught.
yeah.
But going into it blind, not knowing anything of what to expect, I didn't think I could turn off or check out while watching this. Because I assumed this was a lot more. Like, I knew obviously there had to be some sort of conflict and showdown based off the trailer.
Yeah.
But not knowing vampires or anything else, I assumed I had to know. I didn't realize that I could have just fucked around for the first hour of the movie and really started caring once the vampires showed up at the bar. The
It
first
could
hour
be
of the movie
shorter.
is
It
completely irrelevant.
it could be shorter. Well, you got to get backstory on every character, Ben, so you got to know why you got to
Well,
care for him.
here's the thing. I'm not saying I don't honestly think it needs to be shorter. Just cut some of that backstory. Here's what I would say. You either cut some of that backstory out, give me more at the bar and make that longer, make it more of a vampire movie, or don't make it a vampire. Like, I just, I don't know. It feels like it was a vampire movie, but only really for like a half hour.
And then I feel like if I'm being honest, they kind of shoehorn the clan thing at the end. Because like
100%.
once the vampire stuff happened, I was like, oh, all right, cool. The movie's over. Sammy's driving off. Like it's gonna be good. We're done. And it's like, oh, okay. Now Smoke's shooting up clan members that were gonna come shoot them, and I'm like, I,
Why wouldn't he just leave?
I mean, it's probably a pride thing. I mean, he did deal with a problem in the community, you know.
I mean, I get that, but it's just like I don't know. I don't know. I feel like you could have just written it that he there's the two of them survive, and maybe if you want to do the twist, instead of them showing up at Sammy's thing, they show up like at his gravesite or something. There's your twist ending. You kind of go through, and kind of in flashes you see that Smoke goes on to live a full life, and then at the end at his gravestone or something, you see a hand placing uh you see a hand placing the same type of flowers that he bought from
That
the
he put
store
on. Yeah.
on the daughter's grave. Heck, you could have it show the hand. You could have it show the flowers on the grave, and then still do the part with Sammy at the end where that's who put the flowers down. The whole time you're thinking maybe it's Sammy that put the flowers on his grave. It turns out, no, it's not. It's the vampire brother who does it. It just
Yeah.
feels like this movie it waited way too long to introduce the premise of the movie that was the most exciting,
Yeah.
personally, to me.
I mean, that's my thing is that I feel like you could have shortened the front half of the movie. I I get, I guess, like I get that you're setting up this juke house and all that, but like
Yeah,
I
but
don't
do
know
you
if we
need to
need to
tell
see
me the
them going.
backstory of?
Well, but like them going to get cornbread, I don't know if we need to see like them going to get cornbread to be the doorman. Like, I just feel like yeah, some of it is like
Do we need the entire backstory of Delta Slim and his partner getting murdered and robbed?
yeah, uh, just told to us while they're on the thing. Um,
Well, yeah. I mean, I which I can't remember. Was that the whole reason that they were going down to the station, was to recruit him?
hmm they go down to the station to get Delta Slim,
Okay.
and then they go uh and then they pick up cornbread, and then they go back. I'm pretty sure, and then stack smoke. I don't know which one goes into town.
Smoke goes into town to get the supplies and the
Yeah,
sign and everything else.
yeah, and then goes to Annie's house.
Yeah. Which I guess technically is also his house.
I guess if they wanted to do a prequel, I feel like the Choctaw vampire hunters would be a cool story
Yeah,
to
those were
also see.
those were those were cool characters that I'm kind of disappointed we only got like
A few seconds of. I thought they were going to
20
show up at some random
20
point.
seconds. I kind of did too.
I was kind of waiting for it, but yeah, no, that would be a pretty sick prequel too. If hey Ryan Coogler hit us up at Cocktails and Classics, we'll shoot the
We'll,
shit with
we'll
you.
start we'll start working on this spec script right now.
Our people get in touch with your people.
Chat GPT, I need a spec script about.
how to write a spec script. um, anything else before we go to reviews, Ben?
Uh no. No, I don't think so. I think I'm good.
Um, neither of us had seen this film, so you're gonna get two fresh ratings on Sinners. Um, I'll go first if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Um, I feel like this episode leans a little negative. And not necessarily like that it's a bad movie, but that just like it's overhyped and that there's a bit of loose ends that don't necessarily get tied up. Um, or that it's got a little fluff to it. And we've talked about movies with like director's cuts and final cut and final say. And maybe part of that we're talking about could be solved with Ryan Coogler not having final cut. Um, and that it could be a little tighter, but I don't know. Like I said, it's a fun movie. It's a good movie. Do I necessarily think it's like the best movie of the year, which I feel like it's kind of been hyped up to me. Um, like like I'm looking at my letterbox friends list, and there's not a single person put it under a 4 out of 5 stars, which is kind of crazy. Um, I don't know. It was a fun movie to like just experience. I think it's one of those movies where you can sit there and you can kind of dig into the themes because it is horror, and a lot of horror movies they have these like social themes kind of underwritten into them, like we're talking about the assimilation with the vampires and this like idea of community, and like you watch like um fucking Cloverfield. It's kind of on the nose, but Cloverfield is like a uh is about like 9/11, so it's like Hostel is about uh immigrants and like foreign terrorism and stuff. And it's like this one's kind of on the nose a little bit as well. And you can go and you can dig and you can go to find those things in this movie. I think you can also, just ride along for the ride. Um, get to the vampire part and enjoy some good old like action horror thriller vampire movie. I don't know. I I'm kind of split. Part of me wants to give it a 7. Part of me wants to give it an 8. Um, I'll go with the 7. I enjoy this movie. I'm not rushing to watch it again. Um, like I feel like we just did Superman a couple weeks ago. Like Superman, as soon as I finished that movie, I was like, I cannot wait to watch Superman again. This one, I'm like, you know what? Maybe when it gets to Halloween, maybe I'll try and give it another try. Maybe next year, that sort of thing. I do recommend you see it though. Especially if you're like just goofing around. I honestly I feel like my dad would like this movie. This feels like something he would like. Maybe it's too woke for him now. I don't know, but uh, I would like I don't know. It is one of those movies that you're kind of like I could see this person liking this. I want to go recommend this movie to him. Like it's a word of mouth type movie. I think that's all I got.
I can see that. Yeah. Um no, like I said, this movie had a lot of hype that made me think going into it that this was going to be like an 8 or 9 out of 10 movie for me. And I'm looking at some of the other like reviews from what I'm seeing, and I must say I very much agree with a lot of them where and I think I kind of mentioned it, is this feels like two different movies that just kind of got pushed together. Um it seems like there's or to me this movie seems, I think John Mulaney has a great bit about it where like it's someone making a happy birthday sign, and they started with this giant H and then realized kind of like, oh shit, I don't know that I'm gonna have enough room to fit all of the words happy on this. So like the A gets like a little smaller, and then the first P is okay, and then the second P you're trying to like tuck under it, and then the Y is almost just a line. It feels like we had the first half of the movie to take up this space. We've got so much room in this movie to do and tell the story we want to tell. And then it seems like we hit the halfway point. We're like, oh shit, we got to kind of fit the rest of the story we want to tell into the next like 30 minutes. And that's all the time we have. Um, that said, I did enjoy it. I enjoyed the vampire last standy kind of, um, feel to it. I guess to me, it weirdly enough, not something I'm sure wasn't intentionally the feeling of, but it kind of has that Western kind of last stand at the corral type feel to it. You know, you lose people, and then everyone kind of rallies around to make that, you know, uh, for the Alamo type charge to live. I did enjoy it. I think, like you said, I'm not rushing to be like, I got to turn this back on and watch it again. I do think maybe around Halloween would be like a good, enjoyable time to watch it. Um, I don't know. I'm probably also at like a 7, and that's probably leaning towards the higher side of what I was thinking. Um, it was good. I just think I don't know, and I don't know if it just caught the wave of the fact that it was kind of one of the first big movies of the summer to come out, that people were like riding the it's summer, let's get back to the theaters, and kind of I don't know. And this is extremely off topic. Again, just gonna give it a 7, and then the rest of this, if we want to cut it or move it, whatever. It does seem like there's been a big push, especially after the last couple years, to get people to go to the movies more.
I hate the marketing of only in theaters August 12th or what. I'm like, fuck off. Obviously, it's
But
gonna go to theaters.
yeah, I just think that it just seems like it's been such a thing where like any movie that comes out gets immediate. uh, You know, it used to be even like some movies that came out, people were like, this movie's not great. Like, you don't need to go see this one. And I feel like now it's like every movie that comes to theaters, like, you've got to see it. The can't miss film. And it's just like, yeah, I think I can miss it. I think I can wait. And I think it just feels like, especially like in the last year, there's been this huge push. And I'm sure it's because that they want to continue making money on it. There's been a big push where like any movie that comes to theaters is a movie that you have to see it, and you need to see it in theaters. Like, I just feel like that's been such a big push by every production company. Whereas, with COVID, it was like, yeah, it would be great to be able to see these in theaters, but you can watch them from home. And now it's the same type of movies that are like, no, 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 you have to see this in a movie with other people, or else it's not the same.
It's like, when you and me and the laymen go and they're like, oh man, I'm going to take my reusable bag and I'm going to use my reusable water bottle. And I'm not going to get as many plastic water bottles. It's that equivalent to me of like how people are like, I need to go see this at the theater because I need to support movie theaters and cineplexes. And it's, you kind of take this personal responsibility of like,
You're
I
a
get it
drop
for,
of water in the ocean.
yeah, I get it for like an art house or an independent theater. Like if you're going to see it at like, your local 4 screen little indie art house thing. Hell yeah, go see that thing in theaters. Support those guys. Me going to see this movie at like fucking
AMC
I
or
don't know,
Cinemark.
AMC or yeah, Celebration Cinema or whatever I have close to me. It's like, yeah, I would like that theater to stay there. But at the same time, the same studios and same higher up company who's putting out Sinners is putting shit direct to fucking HBO Max that
Or just
like
canceling
or
shit
yeah,
outright
for a
because they
tax
don't want to pay
refund
for
or
it.
yeah, and it's like you're gonna try and sit here and be like push it back onto the consumer to be like, well, you guys aren't going to the theaters to see the dog shit we put out, so we need to cancel Acme and the Roadrunner or whatever. And it's like, you're the one putting this shit. You're canceling it. You're the one putting it on fucking HBO Max. Like,
Yeah. Oh,
I don't mind the convenience.
We really
But
wanted to make
like,
this Batgirl movie, but you know what? Because you guys wouldn't go see this other dog shit, we're not going
you
to
didn't see
release it now.
Blue Beetle,
Yeah.
The Flash. Like, yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, it's this weird. I I don't mind it. Like, yeah, if I had the free time and the expendable income, I'd probably have a subscription to the theater and go more. I just don't have
Oh,
the free
yeah.
time. Like,
Yeah.
I don't mind the
100%.
convenience of watching stuff at home. That's fine to me, but don't turn it into this like personal responsibility of it's only available in theaters in August
Yeah.
and like you
Or
gotta see
it's like
this.
it's it's on you that if you don't go see movies in theaters, then the movie industry is going to die. It's like, you know what? If that were the case, you people wouldn't keep pumping shit into streaming channels.
Yeah, or maybe you could they if they just didn't try to make movies as cheap as possible and fucking use AI to replace people's jobs. Yeah, that's. Well, if you enjoy this episode, uh, no, I can sit on a
I'm
soapbox.
sorry, Dylan. I didn't mean to insult the AI.
ChatGPT, how to turn you off for everyone in the world.
This has been Cocktails and Classics. Goodbye. Don't forget to watch responsibly.
That's that. That's the outro. You're like the fucking dude from Grandma's Boy. uh,
Ah.
if you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to rate and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram and check out our other episodes. We've done a couple movies now from this year. We did Superman, Mickey 17. So if you want to listen to some new movies, check those out. And leave a review or comment wherever you listen. Spotify and YouTube are two that like you can easily just comment right on the episode and we can read it and respond to you. Have some discourse going back and forth. And share us with your friends and family. Leave a rating wherever you listen. Subscribe. That always helps us out. And as always, watch responsibly.